Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our TOEFL test preparation course. On today's agenda, we will continue with the written expression strategies that we started last class. I'll show you some other strategies, and as we usually do, there's going to be some written expression practice. Okay, so let's begin. Now, the last thing that we were talking about last session is parallel structure. And specifically today, we will review parallel structure with comparisons. Now, when you make a comparison, what you want to point out is either the similarity or the differences between two things. And those differences or similarities must be in a parallel form. You can recognize a comparison showing two things when we see the ER on an adjective or when we see the more than. For example, my school is farther than your school. Here we have a good example of parallel structure with comparisons. We have my school, your school. To be rich is better than to be poor. Again, parallel structure, to be, to be. What is written is more easily understood than what is spoken. What is and what is. A comparison showing how two things are the same might also contain expressions like as, good as, for example, or expressions such as the same as or similar to. Their car is as big as a small house. Renting those apartments, renting those apartments costs about the same as leasing them. The work that I did is similar to the work that you did. Okay. So make sure that both parts of the sentences in a comparison are parallel. So we need to have structure one, comparative form, and same structure. Yes, like here we have noun. Noun, verb in infinitive with a verb in infinitive, a noun clause with a noun clause. Okay, so let's do this exercise. We'll do it together. As usual, we need to figure out if the sentence is correct or incorrect, but we're going to focus on comparative phrases, making balanced sentences when using comparisons. Let's look at number one. It says, his research for the thesis, this is my comparative, hers. Yes, I have here. Let's look at number two. We have dining in a restaurant is more fun than to eat at home. Even though the sentence might not sound bad, it is not parallel. And we must make sure that the sentence is parallel. Yes, so we have here dining. So this should be eating at home. Let's go to the next one. And we have, I want a new secretary who is as efficient as the previous one. This is my comparison, and I need to make sure that both sides are parallel. I'm sorry, I lost connection, but let me show you my presentation again. Here it is. Okay, so let's check. Number 3 is correct. We have a new secretary, which is a noun, as the previous one. We're also talking about a noun. New secretary, previous one. Number 4. What you do today should be the same as did yesterday. The correct should be what you do today should be the same as what you did yesterday. This sentence is incorrect. It is not balanced. Number 6, correct. You have less homework than they do. You have, they do. What you do has more effect than, this is my comparative, what you say. Correct, parallel. What you do, what you say. Number 8, music in your country is quite similar to my country. Not parallel. Quite similar to music in my country. And number 9, the collection of foreign journals in the university library is more extensive than the one in high school, for example. Okay. Let's do another. And again, let's focus on comparatives and the previous strategies that we were talking about related parallel structure. We will do the first three together and then continue individually, okay? And then we'll check all together. Number one, it says, after retirement, he plans on traveling to exotic location, dine in the finest restaurant, and playing a lot of golf. See, here we have this verb that causes the sentence not to be parallel. Traveling, dining, and playing. Number two, she was both surprised by and pleased with the seminar. Both and. Surprised in past, pleased in past. This is correct. Number three, what came after the break was even more boring, this is my comparative, than had come before. What came after, this is incorrect. What came after was even more boring than what had come before. Okay, so continue on your own. I'll give you 2 minutes and then we'll check the answers all together. Okay, so let's check. Number 4, the sentence is incorrect because or should be nor. He would find neither under the bed nor behind the sofa. Number 5, incorrect. Look, we have adjective, noun, adjective. This one should be mediocre. Number 6, incorrect. He exercised not only in the morning, but also in the afternoon. And now, but he also. Number 7 is correct. Number 8, incorrect. Good-natured, generous, and helpful. Adjective, adjective, adjective. Number 9 and 10, both correct. Now you will find that it is very common to have problems when we form sentences with comparatives and superlatives. And the problems in the test will be varied. That's why it's important that you know how to do the following. 2, 1, form the comparative superlative correctly. To really know, to use them in the correct way, to use them correctly, and to use irregular ER correctly. Okay? Each of the following sentences contains a comparative and a superlative. Let's see if the sentences are correct and incorrect. And hold on, because I thought I had here a chart showing how to form, but I have it here, the comparatives and superlative forms. So let's remember quickly how we form comparatives and superlatives. First, we need to take into account if the adjective is short or long. That is, if it has one syllable or two syllables or more. Okay. Now, if it has one syllable, we add ER in the comparative form and EST for the superlative form. If it has a syllable that ends with E, well, we just add an R. Nicer, nicest. Stranger, strangest. Now, if it has one syllable with the consonant vowel consonant pattern, then we duplicate the last syllable and add ER or EST for superlative. Now, if it has two syllables that end with Y, like happy or crazy, we change the Y for I and add ER. In superlative form, again, we change Y for I and add EST. Now, if it has two or more syllables, then the adjective doesn't change and we add the word more than for the comparative form and the most or most for the superlative form. And let's remember that we have some exceptions. These are just two, but we have a couple more, like good, better, and best. Bad, worse, and worst. Right? Okay. So with that said, let's go to our exercise. For example, number 1, oxygen is abundanter than nitrogen. Now, abundant has two or more syllables. So I have to add more abundant than. This is incorrect. The directions to the exercise say to choose The most appropriate response. Correct. Appropriate is a long adjective, so I have to add the most. Okay, so I think this is easy. So do this one individually. I'll give you a little more than 2 minutes so you can answer and we'll check together. Okay, so let's check. We already talked about 1 and 2, so let's go straight to number 3. Number 3 is incorrect. Important test should be important. Number 4, correct. Number 5, incorrect. More long should be longer. Number 6, incorrect. Than should be off. Number 7, correct. Number 8, incorrect. We need to omit more. And number 9 and 10, both correct. Let's do another one. And again, focus on comparatives and superlatives. Okay, so let's check. Okay, so number 1 and 2 are the examples. Let's go straight to number 3. Number 3 is correct. Number 4, incorrect. Should be more difficult than the second. Number 5 is also incorrect. More should be most. Number 6, correct. Number 7, incorrect. The best of should be better than the food in. Numbers 8 and 9, both correct. And number 10, incorrect. The longest of should be longer than. Okay. And let's take a look at the ER structure. Yes, when we have two comparatives. And this little chart pretty much explains how it should be formed. And if you say we continue with the same idea, having a parallel structure, paying attention that the comparison is formed correctly, and to have a balanced sentence. Now, this type of sentence may or may not include a verb. For example, let's look at number 1. The hotter the food is, this is incorrect. We should have the harder it is to eat. But depending on the context, we could have the hotter the food, the harder to eat it. That's why it says that this type of sentence may or may not include a verb. Let's see number 2. The warmer the weather, the greater the attendance at the outdoor concert. If you notice, this sentence does not have a verb. Okay? So don't get thrown off by that. Let's go to the next. Number 3. It says, the more you say, the worse the situation will be. Now, this is incorrect because here we have the worst, but it should be the worse, as in the comparative form worse. Number 4, the more time they have to play, the happier the children are. Now, this sentence is correct. It might sound a little bit off, but it's correct. The more time, the happier they have to play, the children are. Yes, it's very balanced. Number 5, incorrect. Let's see. The thicker the walls, the noise that comes through is less. If you notice by reading it, it clearly sounds wrong. It should be the less the noise comes through. Number 6, it says, if you run faster, the earlier you arrive. It should be the faster you run, yes, to make a balance with this, the faster you run, the earlier you'll arrive. Number 7, correct. The more you use the phone, the higher the bill will be. The harder, number 8, the harder you serve, the easier it is to win. Correct. This is a balanced sentence. Now let's answer this exercise, and which integrates what we reviewed so far about comparatives and superlatives. Okay, remember, make sure that the comparative is formed correctly, that it is used correctly, and that the ER in a sentence is balanced too. Okay. Okay, so I'll give you 3 minutes for this one. Okay, let's review the answers. Number 1, incorrect. We should omit the word more in more stronger. Number 2, incorrect. It should be taller than the other tree. Number 3, correct. Number 4, incorrect. The closest should be the closer. 5, incorrect. Bigger should be the biggest. Number 6, incorrect. Most hot should be hottest. And numbers 7 through 10 are all correct. Okay, remember that in this type of exercises, you must choose the word or group of words that is not correct. Let's do the first one together. Number 4. It says, certain types of snakes have been known to survive fast more as year long. Okay. The incorrect word is as. To survive fast more than a year long. Okay? So continue individually. I'll give you 2 minutes and we will check. Okay, let's check. Okay. Number 5, letter D, the most is incorrect. I'm sorry, letter D, and it should be the most dangerous animal. Number 6, the wrong word is letter C. It should be in. Number 7, letter C. The correct should be most, the most controversial. Number 8, B, more. The correct word should be more. Number 9, B. The correct word is this one, milder, and no mildest. Has a milder taste than the onion. And number 10, letter A, the most widely, and not the widely used. Uy, sorry. Okay, good, let's move on. Another common problem that you might face is about problems with the form of verbs. It is very common that in the written expression section of the TOEFL test, for the verbs to be formed incorrectly. And your knowledge on identifying these incorrect forms will be tested. Therefore, you should be familiar with the following base forms. Well, the base form, well, it should be with the following forms, not base forms. Yes, so we have base form here, verb without any conjugation whatsoever. Let's look at the present form, which is walk or walks with S, if we are talking about the third person singular. The present participle form, which ends in ing, the past participle, the past form, which might be with ed ending when using regular verbs, or different endings when using irregular verbs, like sang, came, or began. And the past participle forms, which in the case of regular verbs is the same as the past form. However, the same doesn't happen in irregular verbs. Now, you should be particularly aware of the following 3 problematic situations with verbs because they are the most common and the easiest to correct. So check what comes after have. Check what comes after be, and check what comes after will, would, and other modals like can, could, and should. Okay. Anytime the verb have is used as an auxiliary, you need to use the past participle form of the verb. I am sorry. Here. For example, they had walked to school. Well, it should be they had walked to school. We have seen should be we had seen. He has took should be he has taken, and so forth. In addition, you should be sure that if you have a subject and a past participle, you also have the verb have. This problem is particularly common with those verbs such as sing, sang, sung, that change from present to past participle by changing one vowel. For example, my friend sung in the choir. It should be sang or has sung. He became angry. It should be he became or has become. The boat sunk in the ocean should be sank or has sunk. So pretty much focus on the verb have when used as an auxiliary and make sure that a past participle comes after. Okay. Let's do this exercise. Number 1. The young girl drank a glass of milk. Well, this is wrong because the past form of drink is not drunk, it's drank with an A. Number 2, before she left, she had asked her mom for permission. This is correct. I have an auxiliary verb with a verb in past participle. Having finished the term paper, he began studying for the exam. Yes, this sentence is correct. The secretary has broke her typewriter. This is incorrect. It should be broken, has broken, and no has broke. The installer should have completes the task more quickly. It should be should have completed. Number 6, he has often become angry during meetings. That is correct. Number 7, she has rarely rode her horse in the park. She has rarely ridden her horse in the park. Number 8, having saw the film, he was quite disappointed. It's incorrect. It should be having seen the film, he was quite disappointed. Number 9, Tom has thought about taking that job. Correct. And number 10, he might have responded more effectively. It should be he might have responded more effectively. Now, let's focus on the auxiliary verb be or the verb be. And we know that the verb be has many forms and is unlike other verbs, which have one or two forms, like I am, he is, we are, she was, we were, be, been, being. Yeah. And sometimes any of these forms can be followed by another verb. This verb should be either in present participle or past participle form. For example, we are due our homework. It should be we are doing our homework. Let's look at this sentence. This is a passive voice sentence. The homework was done early. And no was due. Tom is take the book. It should be Tom is taking the book. The book was taken by Tom. Passive voice. The book was taken. So make sure that if there's a verb following the verb be, it should either be on present participle, like this one, doing, or in past participle, as in done. Now, each of the following sentences contains a verb be in a different form. Check if the following verb is correct or incorrect to determine if the sentences are correct or not. At 12, Sam is eating his lunch. We are meeting them later today. Okay, easy peasy, right? Okay, so I'll give you just 2 minutes to answer, and we will check all together as we usually do. Okay, let's check. Number 3. It's incorrect. Took should be taken. Was taken. Number 4. Correct. Number 5. Incorrect. Built should be building, as in are building. Number 6. Correct. Number 7. Incorrect. Submit should be submitted. Number 8. Incorrect. Merge should be merging. Number 9. Correct. And number 10. Incorrect. Duplicate should be duplicated. After modal verbs such as will, would, can, could, should, might, etc., you should be sure that the verb that follows is in a base form. Remember the base form? Is the one with no conjugations whatsoever. So after a modal, I'll use this form of the verb. Okay, for example, the boat will leaving. The boat will leave. The doctor may arrive. The doctor may arrive. The students must taken. The correct is the students must take. Okay, piece of cake, right? So what we should remember is that anytime I have a modal verb, the verb that follows takes the base form. Let's see the first two, and then I'll let you work individually. The sales clerk might lower the price. Correct. Might lower. The verb lower is in a base form. The television movie will finishes. Wrong. Will finish in a few minutes. Okay? Okay, so continue on your own. Okay, let's review. Number 3 and 4, both correct. Number 5, incorrect. Clicks should be click. Number 6 and 7, both correct. Number 8, incorrect. Liked should be like. And number 10, incorrect. Has should be have. Okay, now do this exercise that integrates what we just reviewed. What follows the verb be, what follows auxiliary have and had, and what follow modal verbs. Okay? So let's get to it. Okay, let's review. Number one, incorrect. Gave should be given. Numbers 2 and 3, both correct. Number 4, incorrect. Drunk should be drank with an A. D-R-A-N-K. 5, incorrect. Has should be have. 6 and 7, both correct. Number 8, incorrect. Has should be have. Number 9, also incorrect. Be should be been. Number 10, incorrect. Rose should be risen. Okay? Remember, in this type of exercise, you must choose the one that is not correct. I'll give you a little bit more time on this one, and we will see the answers together. Okay, time to review. Number 1, letter C. It should be been, B-E-E-N, and no being. Has been. Number 2, C, established, and no establish, established. Number 3, C, would have, and no would has. Number 4, D, coming, were coming. Number 5, B, won, has won. Number 6, D, hold, and no held. Number 7, D, been, B-E-N, and no has be. And number 8, letter B, made, and no make. Okay. The TOEFL test will also test your ability on identifying problems with the use of verbs. Now, there may be different problems that can occur with the use of verbs. However, there are 4 you need to pay attention to. Knowing when to use the past with the present, using have and had correctly, using the correct tense with time expressions, using the correct tense with will and would. Okay? This is what we're going to focus our attention on in the next slides. Okay. Let's analyze these sentences. Number 1, it says, he took the money when he wants it. That's a wrong form of the verb, and we're talking about using present and past. We usually try to have parallel structures like this one. He took the money when he wanted it. Or he takes the money when he wants it. Okay? But sometimes we need to have verbs in either present and past, with both present and past, sorry. Like, I know he took the money. Right now, I know he took the money. Sometimes in this type of sentences, we might need a little bit more context than a simple sentence. Now, if you see a sentence with one verb in the past and one verb in the present, the sentence is probably incorrect, like we saw in this example. He took the money when he wants it. However, it is possible for a correct sentence to have both past and present together. As we saw here, I know he took the money. If you see past and present together, you must check the meaning to determine whether or not the sentence is correct. We have to do a little bit extra reflection and not just like focusing on parallel structures, for example. Let's see, number 1. I tell him the truth when he asks me the question. Here, we know that it is something that happened in the past. When he asked me the question, in that time, I told him the truth. That's why it's incorrect. Number two, I understand that you were angry. This is correct because I understand now that you were angry. Yes, if we saw this sentence, even though it's not parallel, it's correct. Okay? I'm sorry. Let's see number three. When he was a child, here's our context. When he was a child, it takes me to the past. He always goes to the circus. Incorrect. When he was a child, he always went to the circus. Number four. Last semester, he reads 7 books and wrote 5 papers. He read 7 books and wrote 5 papers. Last semester. It takes me right to the past. Steve wakes up early every morning because he went to work early. Here, every morning because he goes to work early. That's why he wakes up. That's why he wakes up early, because he goes to work early. Mark studied at the American University when he is in Washington. Again, we're talking about something that already happened. So he studied at the university when he was in Washington. He's telling the teacher why he did not have time to finish his homework. Okay, this is correct. Right now, he's telling the teacher why in the past he did not have time. He puts money in his account when he goes to the bank. What do you think? He put when he went to the bank. That's the moment in which he put the money there. Number 9, Tom keeps studying hard. Right now, he keeps studying hard because he intended in the past? No, he studies hard because he intends to go to dental school. She is where she is today because she worked hard when she was a student. Yes, right now she is something because in the past she worked hard. And it says here, this is my context, when she was a student. Okay? Now we know that in English, we may use the auxiliaries have and had differently. One of them, which is have, is used in the present perfect, and had is used in the past perfect. So I'm going to show you a short video just to refresh our memory on when do we use have in the present perfect, and then we'll see another one of the use of had. Let's watch. Hold on, let me mute my microphone.
Hello, my name's Jared. Today we're looking at verb tenses again. This time we're going to focus on the present perfect tense. Many of you have heard of this tense, but you may still be a little confused. The present perfect connects the past with the present in some way. Here are some examples. I've lived in Paris all my life. I lived in Paris when I was little, and I still live there now. I've seen that movie 3 times already. In my life, from the past to the present. When we're talking about experiences we have had in our lives, we use the present perfect tense too. Here's an example. I've been to Machu Picchu, but I've never climbed Mount Everest. I've eaten some very interesting things in my life. Here are some key words to look or listen out for. Have you ever fallen in love? I've never been skydiving. He's already been married 3 times. When you have to decide which tense to use in the use of English sections of the Cambridge English exams, think about the context. Is it in the present or the past? Is there a connection between the two? Are there any key words that can help me decide which tense to use? Thanks for watching.
And I think this short video clearly shows when we use the present perfect, okay? Now, let's see this one about the past perfect. I'm gonna mute my mic and play the
one. Now, let's begin. Today, we're going to talk about past simple and past perfect. We use simple past if we talk about past events in the order in which they occurred. I went to the cinema, I bought popcorn, and then I watched the film. However, when we're already talking about the past and want to refer to an event at an earlier point in the past, we use past perfect. I knew what would happen at the end of the film as I had read the book. In affirmative sentences, simple past is made up of subject plus verb in the past tense. In negative sentences, the structure is subject plus didn't plus infinitive verb. In interrogative sentences, the structure is question word plus did plus subject plus infinitive verb. In affirmative sentences, past perfect is made up of subject plus had plus past participle. In negative sentences, the structure is subject plus hadn't plus past participle. In interrogative sentences, the structure is question word plus had plus subject plus past participle. Here, we're going to focus on how to use them together. Let's take a look at some examples. Hi Nick, how you doing?
Hi there, I'm good. How about you?
Oh, you will never believe what day I had yesterday.
Why? What happened?
It all started in the morning. I was going to have breakfast, but I couldn't because we had run out of coffee. And then in the afternoon, I was supposed to meet a friend downtown, but I didn't recognize her because she had dyed her hair the day before. It took me an hour to find her, and when I finally did, it started to rain, and we got absolutely wet because we hadn't brought our umbrellas.
So terrible.
Then we wanted to go to a London restaurant, but we couldn't because we hadn't booked a table.
Oh, what a pity. I love that restaurant. Had you been there before?
No, I hadn't. That was going to be my first time. But don't worry, not everything was a nightmare. There's always a silver lining. You know, when I arrived home, I was going to go to bed, but I went downstairs for a glass of water, and I realized that my family had arranged a surprise party for me.
Whoa, that's super cool.
Yeah, all my friends were there. What a surprise.
All your friends? Paula?
Hi, Nick. I think I'm losing you. Nick, bye. As we have seen, the past perfect action always happened before the simple past action. Let's do a quiz to practice. Which action happened first? How was the quiz? I'm sure you did well. Very good for that. What about you? Have you ever had a surprise party? Try to use the tenses we learned and leave us a comment below with your story. I hope you really enjoyed.
And I think that both videos explained very clearly when should we use the present perfect and when we should use the past perfect. Okay, so we're gonna leave it here. On our next session, we're gonna practice this. The use of present perfect with the auxiliary have, as I have learned, I have studied English, I have learned French, etc. for 10 years. Or I have never. When you came in, I had already finished my lunch. Okay? Well, have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see each other soon. Bye-bye.